time and we are discussing weddings in Zambia. I am Natasha.
But it's every day I need you. I loved you right from the start. Sometimes I feel I've drifted off to the furthest star.
So it's a Friday. So weddings in Zambia. Well, I worked for an events company, and wait, scratch back. Let's go back. How my fiancé and I decided to get married on the 26th of March this year, 2017, and we sat down and we had a budget. Now let's go way back. I worked for an events company, and I worked there for a couple of years, and it was an event company which was quite popular with brides in Zambia. And the time that me and my fiancé were sitting down to have a discussion about budget, I couldn't help but remember the brides were always coming in, and they were always late with their, most of them were late with their payments, always talking about, oh, the committee has to pay, this side of the family has to pay, I'll pay you this time. So you could see the stress that brides were in, and that's how they became bridezillas, is because there was so much financial stress. And it's a thing in Zambia. You have to have a massive wedding so everybody can see that you're getting married. I always wanted a small wedding, mostly because I come from a very small family, I think. Well, not very small family, but I'm very close to my sisters and my brother. I do have cousins who I'm close to, but I'm very close to my sisters and brothers, and I wanted it to be very intimate. We had decided that we wanted an epic honeymoon and a small wedding. I actually wanted just to sign at the courthouse, but he thought that we should do something special for my mom. So days leading up to the wedding, before that, when we sat down to make the budget, we had decided that there's two things that we will not be stingy on, and that is the food and photography. Food, because we have this thing in our heads, me and my husband. We say that if somebody has good food and drinks, then they will have an epic time, no matter how shit, can I say that? No matter how crap an event is. If you have good food and you have your booze, everything will be okay. So food and photography. And the photography, we said, we'll always have our pictures. So we are better off having somebody who's really good. So I went back to Zambia and we were on a budget. And we both decided that we were not going to get out of the budget. You guys have no idea how hard it is if you're a bride to stick to your budget. But I'm always somebody who sticks with the budget. I'm terrible with money, but I stick with my budget. So we thought, okay, the cake, the venue, first thing was the venue. So I went to a lovely place called Roma Park, and I told them that it was a vow renewal, because people have this thing, when you mention a wedding, they assume you have a bigger budget. So wherever I was going, I was saying it was just a gathering of friends and there'll be vows involved. I didn't call it a wedding, because immediately you say wedding, your budget, somebody's budget will just go 3 times. So even if it's let's say, for example, a venue, and they'll charge you for or setting up and waiters and waitresses, because they assume that it's big. So I just went up to the venue and I said, listen, it's 25 people, we are sitting for lunch. While we're eating lunch, there'll be me and somebody saying our vows. And so they gave me this great price on the food and thing. I always wanted an afternoon wedding because the pictures were fabulous in natural light. I swear they do. It really looked good, you know, being focused in. It's actually really good. Anyway. So, deco. I always had a passion for deco, and Pinterest was my friend. So I decided to do my own deco on my wedding, and what I did was I went to a place where I could actually hire out their vases and anything like that. And I went to a flower shop to see if I could buy the flowers. I wanted an outdoor, sunflowers are my favorite flowers. So I wanted an outdoor wedding, and I didn't want to spend too much on the deco. I think I'm not very good. I'm not a florist, so I had to hire somebody to do the flowers, which was like 30 kwacha, which is like $3 per vase. And I only wanted 4 vases because it was going to be a long table. I didn't want any sitting arrangement because I didn't want anybody separated. For me, it was a family gathering, so it was a sit wherever you want to sit, and yeah. And the little deco ideas that I had.
My wedding theme. I actually didn't have a theme. Did I have a theme? Okay, I wanted rustic. I wanted a rustic theme, and I wanted my favorite flowers, which are sunflowers, to feature. I have a thing for baby breath and sunflowers. I have a love affair ever since I knew what baby breath and sunflowers were. So I always wanted that, and I wanted a rustic theme. And the whole outdoor wedding thing has always appealed to me, or anything outdoor, because not that I love outdoors or anything, I just love when the sun is shining and everybody seems happy outside. Expectations versus reality. I had no expectations, absolutely none. I have a very realistic husband, which is perfect because I'm a dreamer. So we had no expectations, absolutely none. We just knew exactly what we wanted and we followed through with it. So I'm glad that I had him next to me, because every time that I mentioned, I want doves to fly across when we say our vows, and they'll say yes, but they'll poop on everyone. So that's the sense. That's what I mean when I say he's a very realistic person. How did I fit my personality into my wedding? Sunflowers, I think. I'm very sunny, old-fashioned. I'm an old soul. That's what I say. And so I wanted it to be fun, and that's the reason why I wanted it small and intimate, because everybody knew everybody and everybody was comfortable with everyone. So when it came to fitting my personality, because I think I'm bubbly. Yes, I hope so. So the whole point thing that it was small and intimate, it made sure everybody was comfortable with everyone and everybody talked to everyone, everybody knew everyone. What helped you have less stress during the planning? My sisters, my family and my friends were absolutely, my family, my sisters, my brother, my husband, my mom, 2 friends, Alice and Geraldine, and these guys were just absolutely amazing. Every time I'm like, I can't do this, they'll be like, you shut up and get over it. So it was nice that I had such an amazing support system when it came to my wedding. The brides must have on the wedding day. I always say this. You should have a pad, because you're so like you should wear a pad because you're so excited. You just never know what can happen. You know, you could be walking, especially when you're walking. Before you walk down that aisle and you're like, yeah, it's a wedding, you're okay. And then something about when you're walking down that aisle and you're like, oh my days, this is me, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with my soulmate, and you get so excited. So anything can happen. Anything can happen between that time. Yeah, between that time, yeah. Anything can happen between you walking at the beginning of the hour and at the end of the hour. You don't want any embarrassment. So wear a pad or a panty liner. Tip for the bride, stick to your budget. There's nothing worse than having a wedding where I heard a story one day about brides and the grooms couldn't afford to pay their bill after, and you wouldn't want somebody at your wedding coming to get the cake or coming to make noise about the decor because you can't afford to pay it, but you want to impress everyone. So the tip for any and every bride is stick to your budget. And drink water. Drink a whole lot of water because your skin looks really glowy with water. And yeah, it looks really nice. When you know how it is, when you drink a lot of water, your skin kind of looks really good. I used to, my young sister actually, who I was living with her and her husband at that time while I was planning my wedding. And she would always tell me, hey, you need to drink 2 liters of water a day. And because of that, because she used to make sure that I have water and moringa tea, I had lovely glowy skin. It could have been that I was so happy during my wedding, but I'm sure it helped with the water, and the moringa helped. And later,
off to the further stars, only to find I'm resting.